Okay, good start. That's not going though. There we go. Okay. Good. Good start. Am I actually live? I can't tell. It seems like I am. Okay, there we go. Just took a bit for it to load up on this other monitor. How we doing? Because I'm freaking out and I probably should be posting this. There we go. Whew. There. Okay. We'll get into it. I just gotta freak out a little bit first. Oh yeah, I forgot I gotta talk to readers too. I don't have a strong voice. That's good. Okay. If we're actually live, let me know. I can't see if anyone's actually here yet, so that's a little discerning. Is anyone actually watching this? Otherwise I might just have to restart the stream. Okay, there you are. Yeah. Okay, YouTube was like really slow at showing you guys. Like I saw it on... Anyway, it doesn't matter with the Streamlabs showing up quicker than you guys. Okay, okay, hi. Hello. Hi, Kitty, Legit, Onyx, and Tristan. Hello. You can say hello. Hello. Yeah. We'll get into this swiftly. But how we doing? Hey, Cookie. Still thinking about the dislike, you know, thing. I'm a little bit over it, and I think just making more announcements saying it is probably for the worse. Because last week I actually got a lot more than I expected of dislikes on last week's, so that was probably backfired a bit. That instead of encouraging you to tell me what's wrong with the streams, it just became just a shallow just disliking to dislike it, and then I don't know even more of what to do or change if that was a legit thing or not. So thanks Legit about the making that form. I know you worked hard on it, but barely no one used it for good, so probably like slowly phased out of talking about it if no one really uses it as I intended. So the way that I initially intended it was that you would say, oh, I dislike a element of stream, and then you dislike, and then you would then fill out the form to say why. But it seems people only did half of it and just disliked it, and then the entire point of that whole thing was to tell me why. So that all fell apart. So I'll probably slowly phase out from talking about it, just to save my own face. That it's like, exactly that. It's just like, it's not going anywhere if no one uses the form. So, and I'm just encouraging people to troll even more on it. So. Okay, so yeah, if you don't, in future streams, if I don't talk about it, that'll be why. So, okay, but back to whatever this was, or maybe talk about the, yeah, last week's video, or this week's, last Sunday. This Sunday's, whatever, a couple days ago. I feel like I have dust in my throat. Cool cup that's invisible that I got from Everfree. Plug that out. I think the water's bad too. Maybe the cup still has something in it. Anyway, yes. There we go. Got it. Okay. Yeah, the video. There we go. The video was fun. I had a lot of fun with that, yeah. And it was a direct reference to Tron, and from like the helmet design and everything, and how the colors were, and the grid, and how there's little floating symbols around and everything was based on the Simpsons. I think it was Treehouse of Horror. They had a little 3D segment before we went into 3D world, so I wanted to. It's good to multi-layer references, so then it's not just like, oh, it's a direct parody of this. It's also this and this at the same time, because also the robot was based on the Wallace and Gromit. Wallace and Gromit robot from when it went to the moon. I don't think it had a name, so yeah, just a lot of little stuff in there to get you going there. That was actually a bit more harder to work on than the Mother's Day one. I think things kind of expanded a bit too much that it was harder to work on. You recognize the Wallace and Gromit robots. Oh, great. That's cool. I think a couple of the other guys commented about it too. I think we might just swiftly go into here. Is there anything else we can talk about with that? So I want to change this. I guess it works. Because I wanted to change this shot just to the first one. To maybe just have them be like over here. But they're not walking, and then just kind of look at. Maybe like a flower over here. And maybe. It probably works better this way. It's just probably way simpler than what I'm trying to conceptualize right now is that Discord and Fluttershy would be over here, and they would there would be like a flower, or maybe like Discord could like magic a flower and try to give it to Fluttershy. And then Fluttershy would not look at Discord, so Fluttershy would have to be like over here. And then I'm trying to make something that would flow better, but it's like, nah, actually, I just had this idea like a minute before. So this is probably not going to turn good. Let me know how this sort of sounds. Is that they would be here, and then Discord would offer a flower, but then Fluttershy would not look, and then start to look over there, and then it would turn into here. And that would just create the motive for why Discord would seem to seemingly randomly pick on Rose to change it, and then he would get a kick out of it, and then say what, and then do that. And it will probably complicate things, and I think the main reason was that I just wanted to create that reason and motive, and instead of what does she want his flower? Oh, it's just like a miscommunication of just like her looking at a bunch of other stuff here. Maybe there's a flower here, and then Discord wouldn't show the flower too good, and then by the time that he's reaching for the flower to like hand it to her, she was already looking off with big ol' eyes and is already looking over there, and then they start walking, and then Discord would catch up. That looks so goofy. That'd be the only thing. She's distracted by the other flowers? Yeah, something like that. This could be like another stand or something like this, could be implying that there's something else here. That's what this is. But then it would be Discord would just barely missing Fluttershy looking at it, and then she would look at the other flowers over here, and then it would just kind of hop along a little bit. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I was worried. I was worried that if it's just them having to walk all the way through. I think the hardest part, like last time we talked about hard things to animate. And I guess it's personal, person to person, obviously. So I guess my weakness would be walking. So having a realistic walk, I think this. When we get to it, like I have inside of here, I got, this is gonna look weird, like multiple legs that walk. I know it makes more sense if I do it like that for me, but yeah, I can get rid of the standing legs, and then I would have this walking leg that would then animate with this leg. So, and then just kind of like moving that over and trying to make sure that it pacing, or maybe I didn't make the right cycle, or it's something about it. It's a little bit off. So that's kind of why the Fluttershy video actually took a lot longer than I thought it would. That I had to spend longer days working on it than usual was because of that. Well, partly. It was a lot of things, and it just kept stacking up. That it was like, you know, it's like, oh, he has to walk. You know, the father has to walk around, and that's why I have all the. Why I have Derpy like always flying. Is because the walking is always really hard. At least me, if like try to get it perfectionally perfect, is like really hard to get that to look right. I'm gonna drag this back over here and then just clear these. Then we can restart on this. Yeah, we're kind of comfortable in our idea now. We can do this again. Good thing about this is that then, you know, this is just the base. It's not. I'm not having to do puppet, you know, reworking. It's just the storyboard, which are super easy to redo. Forget this guy has a beard. I think in one of these frames I did forget his beard, but I kept it in the first frame. Somewhere around here. Yeah, like somebody's he forgot his beard. Then he like rose it again. Or not. Yeah, I just forget. Back at it again. Just cleaning up the animatic. Deciding what exactly I want to do now. Starting to change it up. I don't know what this layer's for. I don't think it does anything. Okay. Because I usually try to get this very perfection-y. It's like, well, what if they're just simply just more just over here instead? And then we can just kind of slide everything over here. So then we can have them here, and then she'll be already closer to it, and then she just has to walk a little bit. Basically, you just have to like turn around instead of having to walk. Just because I don't want them to walk. It's like I have to figure out a crazy, more elaborate way around just having them just walk over to the place. What is Starlight Twilight? No. Let's go here and speak form. Oh, totally. Yeah, he's really cool. I agree. Let's see. Let's make him move his face. Maybe he's a little bit nervous. Probably should use a eraser. Oops. Get rid of everything. Okay. Books always never get easier. Is that a good thing? Trying to figure that out. The first I read it was like, oh man. They get read as first as they never get harder. It's like, yeah, no, they never really get, yeah, okay, yeah, I get you that they kind of stay or become harder each time. Ugh. I was just like so scared. I was like, just walk. Oh, okay. Well, this should be easier. That's only walking a little bit. Because with the father's one, it was like having to have the father just walk, like, you know, for like across the whole stage practically, and then you have to watch it for like 5-10 seconds. That was the worst. Was that? And there were like 5 or so more shots than I ever expected. And they never really realized that, oh yeah, I need to actually have him walk in multiple shots, and it's like, okay. I can see that chat moved over there, but I can't see it over here. So I just gotta wait, I guess, until I can see it. There we go. Someone who actually enjoys doing walking. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, totally. That is a personal thing. It's like drawing or whatever. It's like, yeah, you might be good at, you know, drawing faces or something, but then you might be bad at landscapes, you know. Or like a lot of people don't like doing lip sync, but that's one of my favorite things, is doing the mouth matching up with the sound. So they're just hanging out, I guess. Let's see. Maybe. Let's see. So I need him. Are you just supposed to be hanging out, or what are they doing? I mean, that's okay if they're not doing anything. So let's have some time to make it simpler on me. So they arrive. They're here. So Discord is gonna go. Oh, what's over there? And then he reaches and pulls out magic. And then then he's gone. And then he has a flower. And then he tries to hand to Fluttershy. Wow, okay. Maybe. Going on a weird tangent there. And then somewhere in here, Fluttershy is 1 pixel. It's over there. Fluttershy needs to like somehow at the same time just kind of look over and then get excited. Aha! About something over there. And then you can just kind of just stand there and then just kind of pop in. I'm trying not to cheat super much, but it's like I gotta cheat to make these. I'd rather spend the time to figure out how to cheat around it than just doing it. This is what all these. I'm doing a lot of technical digging of like animation vids, so it's like, because I know my style and what is easy or not, so it's like I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to keep it, you know, a directional view and everything in an integrity, but just like I gotta cut this corner. So there it is. Oop. might have to go a little longer, but that's okay. I know. I just always half the time I'm like, I just gotta get it done, and the half the time is like, I know there's gonna be a super critic that's just gonna blast me on, oh, you didn't, in this case, didn't have them walk, from A to B in a certain amount of steps, and then they'll say this animation is bad. So it's hard to know whether to just do it or not. That's my problem right now, is figuring it out. I'm just gonna have one more whoop. Yeah, because these are super short, and it might be I put them on the YouTube channel as the little shorts, which surprisingly don't get as many views as my regular videos, even though my streams have been slowly even gaining views more than the shorts. I don't know. So I was like, okay, now I'm slowly learning that as like, is it more okay to do these cheats and stuff just to get it done? So that's where I'm sort of being right now. I think I'm just gonna get to layout because I think we're pretty good. We can watch it in full and see what you guys think though. As I get a refreshing beverage of water. Yeah, I think the last bit of Fluttershy in Discord could be this bit. I think I'll have like Fluttershy, like she'll kind of just look up and then I could ever turn around. And then get this stare. Oops. Too many layers. There you go. So I have her like turn around and then have this cord kind of look down and go, what? Snap, change that. I think I also want to have, this is kind of how it goes in regular videos too. It's like, well, just make this work a little better. I have to move everything. Because I want to make it as perfect as I can here. And then, sometimes it's about to take like 2 or 3 days just to do the storyboard. Or this storyboard animatic. For the, especially the bigger videos. They take like 2 or 3 days of messing up and then saying, well, let's try this instead. There's a lot of workshopping and trying to get it over and over, trying to get this, it's like chipping out the wood to get it better. Let's see, I'll just mess up a little bit longer and then I'll get you to get to the point where I can do this. Okay. How are your other projects coming along? I think I got like, no, we can count. I don't know if you want to count this as a project. It sort of is as a project. So live streams, regular video, in between. So I'm taking a break just so I don't, overwork myself with that. So I'm not constantly, you know, front to end working out a project. Next priority thing is Fall Life Celestia, which I've talked about that a lot. That's 3. And a couple other small commission stuff. Some that we're kind of waiting on for various reasons. So I got 2 of those, I think. So, yeah, and a movie. So I guess 6. So 4 to 6, I would say. But like day to day, I'm only really working on maybe 1 or 2. So just because you get like really into it, and then it's like, oh, it's time to get dinner, and then you just kind of take a break and stop working. So yeah, that's what happens. There we go. I can align the background. That's how I like it. I can click this clipping box and we can show just background. So I made this background for probably an older video. Well, obviously, but trying to think of which one. I think I just want to add a mountain back here. That's always fun. Do a trick. That's always good. Here, just color the same thing. Love this guy. Color it more green, darker. There. And filled it out. There you go. Yeah, I think in the description I talk about that I'm pretty busy, obviously, with all that. I don't really have time for more work. But as I said, like the other 2, I don't really want to get into talk about them publicly. They're going. I would say they hit like some kind of a brick wall in different ways. So that kind of opens it up a little bit, but that I'm able to, you know, if I have time to work on it, then that'll be that. So, but not as much as I thought I would. Okay, so I'm just adding all the characters from here into the scene, into the right scene. There you go. Okay, so the problem is a lot of things. Discord is asymmetrical, so I need to flip them around to face the other way based on my storyboard. So he currently he's looking this way, so I have to flip him around and do all that. So I have to work on that. A lot of other stuff. There's even this one project. Oh, I totally forgot the other thing. I did a map, Solidarity, with Prince Whatever and Hyperdash working together. So, kind of been working on it and not. They're good that they designed it in different phases. So like they had us, you know, work for a month or so independently, work on the just like on a storyboard and idea. I'm gonna go in and swap all these bits to the other way, just because he's facing this way. So now I gotta go in and swap everything. Boop. And then these 2, 3 need to go behind there. Upper hand needs to go above neck. Probably should split this up into different parts. I don't think I did because I I'm obviously picking my battles of what are what's important or not. And I'm deciding stuff like making them asymmetrically correct is going to be important, and walking is not. So let's see. Put them there. Put them there. And then let's see. It's probably not good. Probably it's not the same position. Easy. Let's see. So we gotta get the leg right there. This one, both there. And just swap the positions. Worked with Discord so much in the KP project I worked on, like almost 2016. It's almost like 3 years ago. I can't count. Ugh. So it's like I'm like today. I was like noticing like, oh, I have to face them the other way. It's like I know what to do. Discords are the random partners. I mean, I only have them. Oh, totally. Yeah, there's just so much to them that I'm sure like even the animators like might forget, and then they would have to waste a lot more time, you know, getting that continuity right. Okay, so now he's facing this way. And if I wanted, I can make sure by doing this and then seeing if anything. Let's see, it's facing right, and this way it's facing left. Okay. Did you get anything? I think so. Get all the important bits. I don't think the tail switches. That's the only symmetrical part. Okay. Trying to go back to the scene, like I think I did Discord in a couple other videos. Definitely the Christmas one I did a couple years ago. Trying to think if I think I did make pretty much what I just did with the left and right version. But now I know that I have both of them. So I actually go back. I need to relabel all library left. Okay. Yeah. But mostly on the real show, they would, I believe they would have turnarounds inside of the puppet. Like I think you've seen maybe like a long time ago, I had I was working on Fluttershy, I think. I mean, I still am, but I didn't really stream it till then. Afterward, that the characters have inside of them like a turnaround, so they'll have like a front, different views of each of them. So as long as you never really go outside the puppet and then flip it, then you'll be good. So as long as you keep it consistent inside there, and then if you're consistent inside the puppet with the turnaround, then that should solve a lot of problems with what you're saying, Tristan, is that keeping it consistent is just as hard as, you know, setting the puppet up. If you're doing puppet animation like I am, where you gotta keep track of all this nonsense of keeping track that puppets don't well, the ones that have asymmetric parts like Discord, they'll just randomly switch. Like, it might be in a scene and then it's like, whoops, he might have his wrong horn on the wrong side. Probably shouldn't get too far with this, because I know I'm gonna have to adjust some things later. by means of like scale and where they are. So if I try to keep it super consistent right now, then if I need to shift it later, then I'll have to shift everything again. Probably because I wasn't super 1000% consistent with all this. Yeah, like I'm gonna have rows in the storyboard, you know, be this big, but then the animation is only gonna be like this big, unless I zoom in more, like this, which might hide some things. I don't know. Like I haven't done everything else yet. Like I don't know where these flowers are gonna be either. Just got to roll with it right now. Just keep this going. I don't know how you do anything in a studio. Like that must be super tough. Like I know how to do a bunch of like, you know, viewings and having directorial meetings and everything to keep everything, having a good director, producer to check to see if everything's lining up. That's really important. Trying to select just this. Do you ever animate scenes out of order? Noticing the streams I do tend to work chronologically. As much as I can, I like to do it chronologically. I think that's just like a habit of mine. I'm sure there's, you know, different pipelines of everything that, like, yeah, you could do stuff like this out of order, out of the timeline itself. I just find it easier, you know, mentally, you know, as a storyteller, it becomes easier to tell the story chronologically, because then it's like, especially with the Mother's Day video, like last month, like Derpy has to, you know, wear these different hats, and then she wears a different hat on top of the hat. So if I've worked out of order, I wouldn't know where the asset technically of where, you know, the hat would be. So it'd be like having to put like on you know, working on this, you know, scene right now. She would have to be already upside down and already have like the motion that she has, and have all these flowers already here. Then it's like it gets really complicated. Of figuring out. And then if you just start from the beginning, it's just like a little bit easier, because mostly with the stories that you do kind of start a little bit slow, and then everything kind of wraps up, and then, you know, has a big climax, and then it's like, okay, yeah, and then by the end it's like has a really good resolve because you know everything that happened. So then you can add these full circle things too. Is that helps too? Is that, yeah, if you make something at the beginning that you didn't intend to, then you can add that at the end as a little closer. So stuff like that. It's also easier. So I would think like in a studio setting, like if you have to, you know, work as a team. You know, I'm literally in my basement right now, so if I worked in a studio, then I would believe that you would be headed like shot 48 and 72, and then say work on it, and then I don't know how much context you would have with the rest of the team to know whether or not what you need. I'm sure there's a lot of communication everywhere, but I would find it to be pretty tricky and difficult to work in that kind of a scenario. All my commissions and everything else, like I make a big shot list and everything. I do also tend to work on it chronologically. It's just easier to everything that I said mentally to figure everything out with the story. The one downside, I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff too, but one downside is that if you get to work on it for like multiple years, then it's like, oh, your actual skills and knowledge of the animation itself actually gets better. So it's like you have to go back, you know. If like on the Foley stuff that I'm working on right now, I got up to like a shot 141. And then I looked at shot 1 and I'm going, that's not my best work, you know. Like I wasn't confident enough in it to just, you know, do it 100% as I had now, where I'm working on it way better, I feel. So I you know, today like I had to step back and say, I have to go back and you know, find some small things in there to meddle around with. So like today I updated a background, but because that background was in practically like 30 shots, I had to go back in and just basically just go back in and copy and paste my new version and replace the older version background. So, and then while I was working on it, I was looking at the animation, as you do, and then noticed a lot of small things that is like, oh, this could be tweaked and this could be better. So, trying to relabel these. So yeah, so working in that method, I mean, that's gonna happen anyway, but I think it probably happens biggerly. Okay. At a bigger scale by working straight chronologically, then that would happen. I'm just gonna go ahead and do all the duplicates that I need to do right now. Biggerly. Couldn't think of anything. I was gonna say something else. Something about if you're working out of order. Trying to think if there's actually anything else really noteworthy to say about it. I think we'll start with rules, because you'll be the least primary version and the most important. So I'll get into position. Now it took a while just to get this layout going, but as I said, it's just as important to get everything right than spending several weeks making it better again. But yeah, a lot of things in the, just because it's on my mind because I worked on it for like 2 hours today, and that's like a lot. There's a lot of little things that I saw, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, I showed the director, you know, Josh Corcher, the animations, you know, in 2017. He was like, yeah, that's beautiful. Just print it, you know, it's beautiful. Just go. And now I'm like looking at it, 2019. It's like, oh, well, that could have been done way better. I don't know what the watering can looks like. I think I had a watering can in an older video. Did I just steal that? Let me make sure it's actually in there before I dig into asset files. What was it? What was it? What was it? What was it? Maybe I should just look at my own videos. I'll find it. Oh, I think I know. Hey, look, I'm live. Looking at my own videos. Was it Derpy Sleepover? Look at the end. Hang on. This is important. Yes. Okay. Open. Open Sesame. A lot of fun stuff in there. Let's see. Where is it? There it is. In order to save 1 minute, or at least drawing it again, let's waste more time to figure it out. Don't you keep all the props made for videos? In a way, you know, I keep them in the actual animation, and then I just remember what video it was, and then just go back to it. Usually how that works. It's like, yep, there's a watering can. And then I even got water, and then it shakes and goes woo woo, and then she drops it. So I can seal this whole watering can. Boop. There we go. And then she has to eat it. I can even seal this water. There we go. Let's get maybe 5 seconds. That should be enough. So it's resourcefulness. Haha. Now we got water. I need the mouth. Also on top. Ugh. I think it's just habit from like my early days that it's like, oh, I should keep all these in, you know, perfect folders and everything. Like, should they be actually make folders for what you're saying, like have just a props folder? And it's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's a bit excessive for, you know, what I do. That it just seems like just the way that I have it now, where it's just like just having the props, you know, exist as themselves. Like in the animation, then having a billion or so files for props. Well, you can just have like one file and then name it props, but it's like the way that I usually, you know, my brain is so file folder-y that it's like, oh, I know that I used this prop in this animation, then just kind of go back to that animation and I'll find it, kind of a thing. So, and to go back here, say loop, and just play. Okay. Looks like the water didn't follow. Okay. Might as well just call this stream just layout, just because of what we just did. It's just all been layout. Have to. Oh, he's blinking. Have to have her blink maybe 7. I don't know. So I think I don't want to have a blink at the same time. So I blink, 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 and Discord's got a super slow blink. Also thinking of it. The Folly video was also, because it's probably the biggest fan, you know, group thing I've worked on. Probably second to the different perspective. Get rid of this frame. So boop 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 boop. Don't need this one. And this one. All these in between is like boop. There we go. Just be a quicker blink. Let's watch him. Boop. There you go. Remember Double Rainbow? Oh yeah, that was actually the one that inspired me to actually go into animation. Zachary Rich and his team, they supplied a bunch of puppets from their videos, which was older characters, like the main 6, and that inspired me to get into animation and trying to do that. You know, try to learn it to make my own animations. So yeah, totally. Was there anything else to do that, or just want to remember us about that? Get these in some position. Try to even them out a little bit. There you go. So I believe this one might be the Discord one. Let's change it up. So it's just this big flower. Yeah, I use puppets in early vids. Okay. All your attempts in fantasy over the years. In paper ponies. I also use that, but no, that's a little different. I can show it real quick of what they used. Give me rainbow. Oh, here's Pinky. Dove rainbow puppet. I'm sure they would have made it publicly available. This is the puppets that the Double Rainbow used. So somehow they, you know, made it in different versions and different angles instead of having what more is typically. Because I did something. Oh, I tried to make a block. I don't know what this is. Anyway, it didn't have like that, but it has all these layers and different layers for like different. It's very unorganized and very not user friendly. But okay, that was part of it too. But yeah, you can see like, oh, I want to change the eye. What do you gotta do? Gotta double click, double click, double click. Now you're in the eye. So you can imagine, you know, it's like, oh, I gotta change the eye over here. What do you gotta do now? I want to change the other eye. Go back out, go to the other eye, double click, select the eye bits, make sure it's not masked. Eye. Move down, adjust. Go back out. Oh, you want to change it again? You gotta do that over and over. Just to change the eye. I mean, it was so much work. It was... The way that everything was designed was not as optimal as it could have been. So it's like a lot of weird things like showing like that. And then it's like, oh, I want to change the angle. You got to use a different puppet. So it's like, how do you change it to a different one? Like mid shot, you got to change it. How do you do head rotation? It just was so weird. So trying to learn from that was really... It was good, but it was very, very unoptimized in how it was. It was extremely tedious. I'm trying to look for my thing. Here. I'm slow with this. Folly, Twilight, V5. Explains cartoon assets. Oh, puppets. Yeah. This is the Twilight puppet that I made from scratch, pretty much. Hornbeagle. It's also a worker on the project too. So you can see like this is a more complicated version. If we go back to here, we can see there's a lot of the legs are in different layers, the head and eyes are different bits, but in this one has the full turnaround. As I said, the hair is asymmetric, and this is where you would start. So then you would drag the column of this angle. If you take this whole drag angle and drag it into here, and then you'll get the angle you need. Go inside the head. It's one symbol for the head for every angle. The eyes are open up, has different layers on here. So I can say, let me get rid of, unlock these three, and boom, I can now move both of the eyes, and because they're masked, I can go back out, and they work. So, do expressions with that. All the expressions are also on here, on this level of the head. So I got a blink, the mouth, and I just have to go inside the head to do all that. And then all the angles also work, and everything also flows and everything. And the leg is also has all the different different frames for different leg angles, and these are also split up on different layers, so you can have different parts, and then you can wiggle these around. Whole bunch of these, and then there's walking right in there. So so yeah, going from like this to like it was a good starting point, but it was definitely too complicated for its own good. And then using a more complicated but more condensed, and because I made it myself, it's like much easier for me to work on it than if I gave this to someone else. Then I'm sure they would be able to figure it out, especially because I got little labels of here, leave blank, and then animation starts here. So I think there's a lot less confusion, and it'll be less tedious to work with. You can get rid of the hair, just get that. The horn also has magic glowy bits, and then there's also expressions. They got different eyebrows right in there, and cheeks and everything. So this is the puppet that I work with in the folly thing that I'm working on. But yeah, going back to here, it's like it's much more fun and much more way easier to work with. And it's the same kind of style. It's like just the same kind of a head, and then inside you can directly go into the eyes and move them around. You don't have to keep working with, you know, the different symbols. It's like having to go inside of a bucket and then reaching in and then messing around with it and going out, going to a different bucket and then going in there and messing with it. Now it's just like the buckets are on, you know, on the same level. It's like put a whole bunch of things in the same bucket. So I know I got off on that a lot, and I think we're about on time with that, but I just wanted to explain just how really technical this really is. So if you want to get into it, it's complicated. Oh, sorry, I wasn't even looking. Sorry, correct. Legit, you asked what program this is? Yeah, it's Flash. Well, it's Animate / Flash, Adobe Animate. Yeah. Yes, this is Animate. It's part of the Adobe Creative Cloud, but I think you can just get it individually on its own. Maybe. I haven't really checked. I can just get the Creative Cloud, and then it's easier. Yeah, that's about it. I'm running out because I'm thinking, what can I do and what I can't. I think I've just, yeah, I think we're on time right now. That was really fun to get back into the different puppets. I think doublereboom.com is now defunct, but I think on DeviantArt people recolor them we color these puppets into different characters, and then you can get those on DeviantArt. So, yeah, yeah. Everything's good. Thanks. Yeah. I'll have to teach you later. I'm actually gonna have to sign out for now. You can watch the this is old version. Oh look, this was even made in CS4 release compiled, and so I can't save it using Adobe 2019. You can watch the older streams that I've done. Those have more animation in it. So you can find my channel and then find a playlist for live streams, and then there'll be more animation and art in there. And there's about a year's worth of it, and so if you want, yeah, exactly. Older streams are really fun, especially when I didn't have a webcam. That was fun too. But yeah, I gotta actually get going. Now we just kind of fiddled around with a lot of this, but it's still a lot of work. I think I want to just make these plants. I can do this real quick. I can make these symbols. I can copy them, insert new symbol, flowers. Go into here, paste flyers. Keep saying lays. That's my sketch. And then outside, above rows, not that. Get this. For some reason it's at a different scale. Then we can fit it in. Then go back to the background. Go here. Make it a guide. And then now it's in front of rows. There we go. That's all we wanted. The other way would just making it a mask, but it would be too complicated. Especially because you'd have all the shots in one file. Like if we go to another shot, it'll be more complex of what to do exactly. So now I gotta go back in, take these flowers, and adjust them to the right scale and everything, and then make sure that this is all good now. Go into the next one, and then just a scale here, not that. There's probably an easier way to figure this out, but then just eyeballing it, like you can figure out like the mathematical scaling. Go in here, and there's a couple numbers in here. Like this one's at 48% scale instead of 100. So then I can say like, oh, because that's at half scale, then I can take whatever this is and then do that at half scale, or whatever the 1-to-1 ratio of it. You know, yeah, you know, okay, I just need to move this over, and then continuity a little bit, just kind of scoot everything over, fade everything back into frame, and then this should be the last bit. Take all this, scoot it more over. And then she's over there. Okay. Well, the animation's good. I don't know. We'll have to see once it's all really animated. This is what we got so far. We got all the color in, and we got all the puppets in. So, it's a good start. Obviously not everything's in place, and then we'll have to adjust them. Like she's not going to be watering the flower in every shot. So, oh, I know why though. So, it's because we have the frame 1, and then the same symbol uses frame 1 for the mouth. So, unless I specify in a different version, then it won't never change. So, anyway, that went on for a while. there's anything else you want me to look at, I'll have to do that next time. So I do these at, if you don't know, Wednesdays at 5 p.m. PST, so Pacific Standard Time at 5. So want to catch me again? That'll be in 24 times 7 hours, or 7 days. 7 days and 23 hours. Whatever that is. Anyway, yeah. Thanks guys for coming in. I always appreciate you guys. Always, especially regulars. I'm always impressed that you always, drop whatever you have and join these little, really silly, streams. So, but yeah, I gotta get going. Gotta actually take a break, and have dinner. As I do every time. Yeah. Anyway. 167. Oh, sick, man. Okay. Yeah. Let's get all happy. Thanks. Okay. See you in 167 in probably a little bit less hours. It's still a bit less than that. I don't know if you counted the hour that just happened, or since we started, or is it just the is it actually accurate? Because it would need some, like, 50, it was 6, 54. So that would, like, end in, like, a 64 number then. 166, 53 minutes and 60.08. Well, that's different. That's a little bit less than that. But that means less time to wait. Haha. Okay. Seems like you don't really do too much in a week, but it's like, I guess half the time you're just sleeping usually and not really working. If a work week is like 40 hours, and then like a week it's somehow, how much is a week then? So that'd be 24 times 7, 168. Which is what we got there. It's only minus 40 hours. It's 128 hours that you don't work then. But then you divide that by like 8 hours that you sleep, then you're wasting 16 hours a week of not working. And then you say like, oh, I'm too tired, I can't get anything done. It's like, you got 16 hours a week or so to do something. Like, that's a lot. I get stuff done in that, all those guys are like, oh yeah, I'll beat a 100-hour video game, in a week. It's like, is that possible? Like, you have to. Yeah, I did it for 8 hours. How much do I sleep? If I sleep like 12 to 8:30, so that'd be probably like, 8.5 hours. So yeah, I do 8 hours. I sleep 8 hours a day, night. Oh, what's up with you, dudes? Do you sleep more than me? Any of you sleep more than 8.5 hours a night? I think that's pretty good. It's pretty healthy. It's like it's pretty good for me because if I actually sleep too long, then I should feel pretty bad. Or I feel more tired if I sleep longer. That's the thing, yeah. To be good with 5 to 6, yeah. Yeah, I would not like that. I need 8 hours. It's somehow really in the median. I was like, yeah, I feel rested and not too tired. Like, yeah, I can wake up at that time. But then, the rest of it is actually getting to work and not get distracted by YouTube. And that's the hard part. It usually takes like half a day to actually work on something. You only work for like 2 hours. It's like, yeah, if you're only like really working, you know, for that 2 hours, then it's good. I'm like saying that like, the 2 hours only really from the Fall Life Sausage is working on it today, just because that's a sort of a long form commission, but for my regular videos. So I'd say like how long I do, like 4 or 5 hours. I think on those. But then try to do that with everything else, then it's like not gonna happen. That's why I haven't really touched a movie in a while, because it's like tertiary or less on my priority list, you know. Like work so hard that it's like, oh, still got these other projects and you don't really work on those. Oh yeah, I'm still talking. Oh, I've sort of actually got into what I was talking about. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this is why people don't like they dislike me, because I didn't do these toaster chats with you. Can we trade out? Has anyone trademarked toaster chat? Is that a website? Toaster chat. Toaster Chan. Oh, it's a thing. Oh. It's about Brave Little Toaster. Okay, there's a Reddit post from a year ago that's titled Toaster Chat. Why is it not safe for work? What's going on? Seemed like that was okay. Telegram. I'm sure like every 2 words is used by someone. Cause it's Reddit. Now we got a couple of Twitter posts from 2010. There you go. Oh, yep. Okay. Well, it definitely doesn't seem like it's popular enough to, you know, be mistaken for something. You know, not like, what was it? Oh, like Blender, you know, Blender the 3D program, you know, couldn't get blender.com because it was already taken by kitchen blenders. Still trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, I think we can use Toaster Chat if we want. Okay, I clicked on something and it gave me a Trojan block. That's fun. A lot of these are just pictures of toast. Here's a picture of just a cat coming out of a... Okay, I gotta show this. I have no clue what's going on here. What's some Facebook picture? Why don't I just look at just a picture? Oh, it's French and chat is cat. And somehow it's about... I don't save the picture. Just open a picture. I'm just gonna show this for a little bit, so here you go. Whoop. It's a toaster chat. It's not even... I don't know why this is there. It's like it's some French Facebook, because his chat is cat, and it's not even a toaster, so I'm like even more confused why it was like one of the first pictures on Google Images. So anyway, I'm so off of everything going on. I just don't want to leave. Yeah. I don't even know what this picture is. Like, what are we looking at? Are we like looking down? Is like some kind of a cellar or something? This cat looks like so ready to pounce. He's so chubby. Anyway, okay. Yeah. Good night.